Welcome to another episode of the Obsessed with Pickleball podcast. I'm Jane. I'm obsessed with pickleball. Before we get started, quickly subscribe to this podcast. Comment, like, all that stuff you're supposed to do so that one day I can have a sponsor and have a side hustle and make some money because I just moved and now I'm broke. So I have a lot to talk about. First of all, you might notice that I'm in a little bit of a different space. I tried to make it look as similar as possible for continuity, but I did move. I now live in West Hollywood. And I just wanted to talk about my move really quickly because it's just another aspect of how my life revolves around pickleball. I live in Los Angeles. I started playing pickleball on the East Coast in 2020. I was back and forth between LA and the East Coast during COVID, quarantining there, coming back every time we thought we were going to go back to the office, going back, blah, blah, blah. And whenever I was in LA, I would play pickleball Memorial Park. And then one day someone was like, oh, you live up in Larchmont, which is more Hollywood, like more east towards K-Town. You should play at this place, Plummer Park. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I went to open play and that just became my new home court. I mean, I think every pickleball player has like a home court, as we say. And it's where I met a lot of my friends. It's where I met two of my friends, Callie and Andrew, who actually are like my biggest supporters in this podcast and my social media and everything I do pickleball related. They actually are pretty much the reason I got my job at Pickle Pop. And it was all because of open play and playing pickleball. And now I have moved to West Hollywood and I'm so excited. It's crazy how your life can change because of pickleball. And I'm going to have a lot of adventures here. I love the community. I have multiple friends literally on my street. It's going to be amazing. And what I'm excited about is the place I move into has like a little loft area. So I am going to make that a podcast studio. Obviously not just a podcast studio, but my stuff will be up there. This is a very like DIY situation. Again, like I need to get a sponsor so I can have some money. So I'm doing a lot myself. I'm going to do peel and stick wallpaper to create like a cool, interesting background. I'm really excited. I haven't decided what it's going to look like yet, but I think it'll add like some dimensions to this video and maybe, I don't know, it'll be a cool project. I'm also doing vinyl covers on the cabinets and adding a backsplash. So should I do a YouTube channel for DIY? Probably. Okay, let's talk about pickleball. First of all, let's get into my DUPR journey. So I am trying to get my DUPR up to a 4.4 by the end of the year. I had a 3.7. Played a tournament. One went 3 and 4. So it went down a little bit to like a 3.66. Then I signed up for another tournament that I was pumped about. I was like, I'm going to win this tournament. And I looked at the names on the list. I didn't recognize any of them, but it was a 4.0 plus tournament because there was no 4.5. And I was confident that me and my partner would win a lot of matches. I thought that my division started at 9:30 and it started at 7. So I'm chilling. Like I'm not sleeping. I'm awake. And I get a text from a friend that's like, hey girlies, like I think they're calling your name. Like, are you on your way? So yeah, we missed 90% of the tournament. I also didn't know that we could have gone as soon as possible and just played the matches that we missed. I mean, just played the matches we had left and forfeit the other ones. So again, taking our time, chilling, making our way up there. Get up there. They're like, oh, hop in. You have one more game. I'm like, what? So we play that game, we win. And I'm like, okay, well, my DUPR will at least go up because of this one win. And I was pumped. Well. We wait a couple weeks and the tournament, even though they told us they wouldn't, put in all of those forfeits as us getting pickled. So my DUPR dropped like you've never seen a DUPR drop. Like it's almost comical. And so we emailed them right away, obviously. Like I've never acted faster. And it was like, yo, you said that these weren't going to be in there. Please fix them. So they fixed them. They erased those matches. But somehow with this algorithm, so my DUPR is at like a 3.66, drops down to 3.1. They delete all of the losses. So it comes back up, but it still only comes up to a 3.62. So it's still lower when I should have pumped back up to a 3.7 because I was supposed to go up 0.033 or 0.33 or something. I don't know. Like, this is math. Like, I'm not fucking math. I'm not a genius over here, but I would think that if I had a upwards arrow in the green, my DUPR should go up. So somehow with the algorithm, the way it went like up and down, it's lower. So this is getting kind of comical, you guys. All I want to do is get my DUPR up, and like even when I win, it goes down. Even when I win, it goes down. So I have to email DUPR and deal with that. I do have 3 tournaments coming up. I'm playing mixed doubles and iPickle in a couple weeks, and then I'm playing in the WeHo Tenacity Pride tournament after that, and then I'm going to do PPA at the end of the month. So those are 3 chances for some DUPR improvements. The key here, though, is that I have to win. So, okay, let's talk about pickleball now. So, MLP Austin did not disappoint. The venue looked great. The event looked so fun. I don't think we had to deal with a lot of like weather issues. There was a little bit of a rain delay. And some complaints about the sun. I loved seeing Georgia not be able to see and like we couldn't find her advisor. I thought that was hilarious. And she put on like a completely oversized hat. Let's get down to the biggest takeaways. First of all, Flash Mob is happy. I'm happy. Dallas Flash remains undefeated. This is huge, you guys. I mean, they beat the Fives again. They're staying strong. The buildup for the Flash Shock showdown is just getting stronger and stronger. Dallas is in the next tournament, but the Shock isn't. Dallas is going to pick up a bunch of wins there too. And then the schedule is just so wonky, but the Flash win again. Now, one thing I will say about Dallas is also, I took a lot of notes for this. I wrote out a script, so if I'm looking down, that's why. But the fact that the Dallas men, J.W. Johnson and Augie Ga, lost to the Fives and lost to Orlando Squeeze, and did they? I think they also lost to the Ranchers. Yes, is bad. J-Dub is the number 1 pick on that team. If you break down how MLP works, just basically, the top picks need to win their matches. And then the rest needs to be like hoping to avoid a dream breaker. So you have the Fives who are kind of like built for a dream breaker, right? So if Annalie wins her 2, they go to dream breaker. Other teams aren't built that way. So yes, the Flash have an amazing dream breaker team, and we've seen that. But I really believe that building your team around a dream breaker isn't going to work. Look at the Fives. They got like smashed by the Flash in the dream breaker, and they're a dream breaker team. So J-Dub and Augie need to win their match. If I was the Flash, I wouldn't want to see the Shock in a dream breaker either. So, I mean, they have Kate Fahey, they have Anna Bright, they have Gabe, and they have Hayden. 4 singles players. J-Dub and Augie need to win those matches. It's not going to be that easy for the rest of the season to keep getting these wins. If you look at their match against the Texas Ranchers, that was a crazy match. So basically, this was one of the marquee matches. We'll talk about some of the big matches. Dallas Flash versus Texas Ranchers. On paper, these should be really, really close games, but it actually was like blowouts. Georgia and Tyra blew out Etta and Tina. I will say that I don't think Etta and Tina had a great tournament. They lost a good amount and lost some kind of bad. So, yes, so they lose to Georgia and Tyra. Then Christian Alshon and Eric Onsens take out J.W. Johnson and Augie Ga way too easily. And then it goes back. J-Dub and Georgia beat Eric and Tina, and then Christian and Etta beat Tyra and Augie. And then it goes to Dream Breaker, and it's super close, ends up being 22-20. I think Christian kind of choked. I think we've seen him do that in Dream Breakers before. Christian needs to win his points in a Dream Breaker. Now, if I'm the Texas Ranchers and I'm the home team and I see that matchup with the Flash again, I am going to put Christian and Etta against Georgia and J-Dub. Then I'm going to just hope that the men, that we can get 2 more wins across the board. Because I think if you are giving up, if you're conceding that match to Georgia and J-Dub, which essentially, if you have Georgia and J-Dub playing Tina and Eric, I would say you're most likely conceding that match. Then you have to hope for 2 more out of the 3, where I think you can have confidence. Okay, we're going to bet that Christian and Etta can win this match. And we're going to give Eric and Tina a chance against Augie and Tyra. And we're going to try to get 3 wins here. But you don't want to go to a Dream Breaker if you're the Ranchers. They got lucky with that one. They need to get 3 wins, and throwing one of the matches to the wind is not the way to do it. So I think they need to give themselves a chance to win every single game. So that's what I would do if I was them moving into next time they play the Flash. Next key match to break down is the Dallas Flash versus the New Jersey Fives. This was, the one to watch. You have the Flash right now undefeated, high, sitting there really in people's minds, top spot, defending champions. Playing the Fives, it's a rematch from the finals last year. You don't know where it's going to go. Georgia and Tyra come out and beat Annalee and Megan pretty easily. I stand by what I said, that I think dropping Mari was a mistake for the Fives. Of course, I always say the Fives make a mistake and then they prove me wrong. But I think that Annalee is becoming less of a sure thing. She's now kind of in that camp that Ben is in. Back in OG MLP days, which is weird to say because MLP is pretty new, Ben could guarantee 2 matches. Every time you said, okay, Ben's going to win men's, Ben's going to win mixed, we're at least going to Dream Breaker. And then you could say the same thing for Annalee. Annalee's going to win her women's match. Annalee's going to win her mixed match. And then we'll go to Dream Breaker. We can build the Fives around that. But Annalee and Megan have lost a few women's doubles matches. And that's just important to note for the Fives. Luckily for the Fives, the men's doubles have been dominant. They beat Christian they beat J.W. Johnson and Augie Guh. They beat Fed and Dylan. That's important for the Fives. If Annalee can start winning, if Megan can get a little more confidence, but people are always going to blame the person playing with Annalee. And I think what we see in MLP time and time again is that, of course, Annalee is the best singles player in the world. I also think she's the best mixed doubles player in the world. But when it comes to women's doubles, I think we're seeing that she has really benefited from always playing with the second best woman. How will we know that Annalee she's undefeated, okay? She wins 1 million in a row. But she's also playing with her biggest competition. Like, that's crazy. So now we're in MLP and she's losing with Megan Dizon. Megan Dizon is a great player, but she's just not showing to be like clutch or being to rise to the moment. It's early in the season. Now, I will say this about the new MLP season format. This condensed season limits players from growing throughout the year. I don't think it really affects Megan Dizon. She is a seasoned player. She's a vet. It's not about her getting better. It's about her playing better with Annalee. And Annalee playing better with Megan Dizon. I mean, stop speeding up in the middle. Like, AL, everyone knows you're going to do it. Don't miss. Stop speeding up in the middle. But these other players, I'm thinking Miami this weekend. Not a great weekend, lost every match. But Maya Bowie played well. And if she had an entire year to develop, I think she would be a better player. Maya and Millie Rain had a good win. they beat the Ranchers women, Tina and Etta, and that's a big win. So this was the controversy of the fives flash match. So Annalee and Megan lose to Tyra and Georgia pretty clearly. Again, Georgia Johnson is on fire in MLP. Then Augie and J-Dub fall to Will Howells and Zane Navratil. They cannot do that. Again, J-Dub is the number one pick on that team. He needs to win his matches mathematically. He's lucky that he has 2 top 5 women players to deal like on his side. But he needs to win those men's matches, especially when he's going up against not the number one pick on the other team. So I can understand where, you know, when J-Dub and Georgia play Will and Annalee, it can go either way. That's both of their number one picks. But J-Dub should be winning his matches and Annalee should be winning hers for the drafts to make sense. So J-Dub and Augie need to get it together. They lost way too many games in this tournament. They lost the Ranchers match, they lost the Squeeze match, and they lost the Fives match. Unacceptable. That basically means that they only beat Miami? Was their only men's win? Am I missing something? Anyway, then we move into mixed. Now, this time, a lot of the times the Fives will put their number one mixed team against the other team's number 2. I think the Flash chose this time. So Augie and Tyra take down Zane and Megan Dizon. The Fives, Zane and Megan, I don't know how much luck they're going to have in mixed this year. Kind of like how Zane and Mari weren't like very solid last year. But then you have Georgia and J-Dub go against Will and Annalee, and I think people were wondering how this was going to go. And they start on the sunny side, Georgia and J-Dub, like where the sun's in their eyes, and Georgia is clearly struggling. They go down like 6-1, and then they switch sides, and Will and Annalee just take it. So it's 2-2. Woo, just like how you would want this match to go. Goes to a dream breaker. J-Dub is just eating Will Howells up, and Julie Johnson, my queen, is yapping at Will. You couldn't really hear it, but there is a clip where you kind of hear her saying, like, you've been running your mouth all game or something, but she's standing right there, like right where he's playing, dead, dying. So I think J-Dub is like, I want to say like 6'2", and Georgia's 6'2" on Annalee, so it's crazy. But there's a moment where, okay, J-Dub hits a 6 shot. Will instantly is like, no, out. And the team's like, okay, challenge, it's clearly in. Like, not even, like, it's clearly in. So, okay. Then, few points later, Tyra hits a 6 shot, and Megan calls it out. Goes to the camera. Now, this one is a close call, and I don't remember if the rule in MLP is the 2/3 rule, but it very clearly to me looks like it catches the line. Is it the very outside of the line? Yes, but it catches the line. So the refs are like overturned. And what happens is that you only have one free challenge in a dream breaker. So because Megan Dizon upheld her call, not only do they lose that point, but they also lose an extra point as a technical warning. Of course, the Fives did not like that, and they were up in arms. And here's the thing. Stop hooking. This is the only way to incentivize teams to stop hooking. If you make a bad call and they challenge it and it's overturned, okay, great. If you make a bad call again and they challenge it and it's overturned, that's the rule. Like, that's the rule. So when Megan called the ball out and she was asked, do you want to uphold your call? She could have said, no, it's too risky. I know that I have no free challenge, but they stuck with it. And Will made a terrible call. It's just the rule. Do we know if this is the best rule? No. But people have been wondering how to deal with line calls in pickleball for a long time. And people have been talking about like incentive. Like, what's the incentive not to make a bad call? And this is the incentive. So I don't know. It's tough in a dream breaker where it's rally scoring, of course. But That's just the rule, and that's what happened. But yeah, I mean, I don't think any team is happy when things go that way, but you can't make bad calls. And Will House has been cheating on his serve for most of MLP, and now he's making bad calls, and there's consequences. But that was an exciting match. Then on the last day, we thought we were going to have a great match between the Ranchers and the Fives. Ranchers, the home team. And I don't know if they went out the night before. They were like partying downtown Austin or something because the Ranchers were asleep. They did not even come to work that day. The Fives took them out easily, which was interesting. It is interesting to see that the Flash have such a close match with the Ranchers, and then the Fives walk all over them after the Fives losing. I think what we're seeing here is the top teams are really close. The top teams, as we see it now, are still Shock Flash Fives. The Ranchers needed to put up a better fight against the Fives for me to consider them in that top 4. So underneath that top 3, I'm putting Ranchers, Brooklyn, Sliders. Under that, some question marks that we're going to have answered in this upcoming weekend. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about the squeeze. So I just joined like the squeeze squad, squeezers, whatever you want to call them, after the last tournament when I saw them live, and they were just like the best vibes. They had a really bad weekend. I picked them to beat the Fives, and here was my thinking. I thought that Fed and Dylan could beat Will and Zane. And I thought that if they were able to get to a dream breaker by either Fed and Lacey or Dylan and Samantha Parker playing Zane and Megan, they could get to the dream breaker, which happened. Dylan and Samantha Parker beat Zane and Megan, but none of the other matchups could win. And this is, again, what it comes down to. Fed is their number 1 pick and Dylan's their number 2 pick. Clearly, a man-man pick is not the way to go. We've learned that from day 1 MLP. They have to win that men's match. If your top 2 picks are on the same team in a matchup, you have to win that mathematically. If you don't, you've set your whole team up to fail. And this brings us to the topic of top teams and their female players. It has become clear. I've known it. Most smart MLP knowledge havers have known it. It is more important to have top women on your team than top men. The top 3 teams: 1, Annalie Waters; 2, Anna Bright; 3, Georgia Johnson / Hurricane Tyra Black. And I'm going to say Kate Fahey, super on the rise, playing with Anna Bright. That's an insane women's doubles team. Megan Duzan is a top women's player as well, but I think Annalie has a little more wiggle room to getting a better woman on her team. But I think she's also proving that she can lose women's doubles with Megan. Luckily, her and Will still seem like they can beat almost any team. But those are the top 3 teams, and they clearly have the best female players. Now, you look at the second tier that I talked about, and you have top female teams: Etta and Tina, Paris Todd and Leah Jansen, Rachel Rohrabacher and Jackie Kawamoto. All 6 of those women are top, however you do the math or whatever count it, top 10 women's players. And they're at the top in the MLP as well. If you look at teams that are more focused on their men's doubles teams, it's not as good. I'm really excited to see the LA Mad Drops playing a few more matches, because there you have Catherine Parento and Jade Kawamoto. Don't sleep on Jade Kawamoto. Never sleep on a Kawamoto. And I think arguably, I don't think it's arguable that Catherine is top women's talent. We see her, of course, if you put her in the same conversation that you're going to do Anna Bright in women's doubles, you have to put her. Same with mixed. So I want to see how that team does when they play a little bit more in this upcoming tournament. But yeah, not a great weekend for the Squeeze. I think they have enough wins under their belt in the beginning of the season they'll definitely make the playoffs, but I don't know if they'll be top 6. Uh-oh. The cats love the new apartment, you guys. They absolutely love it. Miami had a rough tournament as well. They lost all of their matches, but again, if you're going to be a lower level team, you have to win the games. You have to be clutch. You have to win. And I think Jay and Noe Cliff had chances to win and they didn't. I think Maya Bowie is playing really well. I think she's definitely someone to keep your eye on. She's super fresh and super new. So I think there's room for growth there. And so I think Miami still has a chance to grab one of those top 10 spots. Now, this was also the first time that we see a lot of action in Challenger. And I finally had enough time to really watch some matches and form some opinions. Las Vegas Night Owls are undefeated. You guys, okay. Pablo Tejas, Brooke Buckner, Zoe Wang, and James Mercado. At least three of those players are premier level talent. And here's the thing that got really screwed up this season. That's a hill I'm dying on. We needed relegation and derelegation. The Night Owls should be in Premier. The Night Owls should not be in Premier, but some of the Premier teams should have dropped down to Challenger and be playing the Night Owls. Like the way it worked, it doesn't make sense because if the Night Owls win this season, they should move up and a team like, I don't know, the Hogs should move down. But instead, it's like this weird Challenger limbo. I don't get it. But that's a killer team. I mean, Brooke and Zoe could beat women's teams in Premier. So they're just good. They're just good players. No one can really beat them in a Dream Breaker. I wouldn't want to face them in a Dream Breaker if I was a Premier team. I wouldn't want to play them if I was a Premier team. Then we have the Chefs. They're second in the standing. You can't be surprised that Eva Radikowska's team in Challenger is good. She is like, if I'm on a Challenger team, I'm like, I want Eva on my team because I know we're going to win. I know we're going to be good. She's just so solid at that level. Like she is the best at that level. She just this is her world and she's just going to dominate. I think that DC and the Bay Area Breakers should be getting more wins. DC, we have Andrea Koop, Mari Humberg, Stefano Verne, and Daniel De La Rosa, and the Bay Area Breakers, Alex Trong, DJ Young, Eric Roddy, and Dana Finaro, who I don't know very well. But Alex and DJ could both be playing Premier. Mari should be playing Premier. So they should get some more wins. I want to see how that plays out. And then is the Florida Smash a lost cause? It's kind of looking like they are. I don't know what the purpose of some of their decisions were in drafting. I don't know, but remember when Georgia was on the Smash with Travis Brett Meyer? That was like those were good matches. I think it was Georgia, Travis, Vivian David, and Kyle Yates. What a team. Ugh. I remember watching them win a Dream Breaker in San Clemente at like one of the amazing OG MLP tournaments. Honestly, just like it was incredible. Another thing I loved about this tournament this weekend is having the pro players on as commentators. Fed was hilarious. Irina always has like funny tidbits. So Meech will like ask her an opinion about a play or like what strategy that player should have. And she'll be like, I don't know, just keep doing it. Keep trying. Did you know that person loves jelly on cheeseburgers? Like the randomest thing. And it's so funny. Then I caught Leah Jansen and Camila Zilvetti. Is that how I say her name? Commentating one of the Challenger matches, and they were being hilarious. They were just so funny talking about like the chat and like comments about how people say get cooped, and like they were just like really niche comments, and I thought they were great on the mic. So that was super duper fun. This week we have I have to speed it up, you guys, because I have to go to Sparks game. Another MLP tournament starting in 2 days. I'm pumped because there's a lot of late matches, even for Pacific time. And a lot of times when these tournaments are played on the East Coast, I have to work during them. So I have to catch up, but I might be able to watch some live. Like, I think the LA Mad Drops Brooklyn match is like, anyway, there's a lot on Thursday. So that's in 2 days. I'm excited, but I'll be able to watch a lot after work or over the weekend. So biggest game we kick off with LA Mad Drops versus Brooklyn Pickleball team. Jackie against Jade Kawamoto. Rachel Rohrabacher against Catherine Parento. Rachel and Catherine. I don't think they're permanent PPA partners, but they are playing the next PPA together. So that will be really good. And this will be a real sign of how the Mad Drops match up. I don't think we know yet how the chips are going to fall with them, but Brooklyn is a good team. So that'll at least like give us kind of a gauge. I think the Bouncers versus the Black Diamonds could be a good match. These are most of these teams are going to be different than this last weekend, except the Flash is back again. And I think they could just whip through the competition and pick up a bunch of wins. I don't know. But yeah, the Bouncers versus the Flames would be really fiery. Jack Sock on one side, Jaume Martinez Vic on the other side. And then, yeah, back to the Mad Drops. Where are they going to land? Are they going to be above the Bouncers, the Flames, the Squeeze? The Squeeze dropped down for me. Or are they going to be and then under Brooklyn, Columbus Sliders, and Ranchers? Or are they going to elevate above that, elevate below that? Like, where are they going to fit into the mix? We're going to see. Will Dallas lose this weekend? I don't know who they lose to. I don't think they will, but you can't get cocky, guys. Flash mob, stay focused. George and J-Dub, stay focused. J-Dub, I need you to win a few more matches, please. But we will see the Brooklyn Pickleball team versus the Dallas Flash. So here you're looking at Georgia and Tyra against Rachel Rohrabacher and Jackie Kawamoto. J-Dub and Augie against Deckel Barr and Riley Newman. And then you go into mix. So I would split 1-1 here. It would be great if the Flash could take the second, but I would split. I'm expecting Flash women to win, Brooklyn men to win. Then you go into mixed. If I was the Flash, I would do everything in my power to make sure that Tyra and Augie play Deckel and Rachel, and that J-Dub and Georgia play Riley and Jackie. J-Dub and Georgia have been beating Riley a lot recently. They seem to have his number. And Deckel is too unpredictable in mixed. He can either be like the greatest mixed player you've ever seen in your life. And if I'm J-Dub and Georgia, I don't want to face that, especially considering how much he plays with Rachel and how familiar with each other they are. And I am confident if I'm Dallas that I can beat this team in a dream breaker. So I would do that. And I don't usually love that strategy, but I do love it in this case. It's definitely a stronger dream breaker team on the side of the Flash. So that's what we'll be looking out for this coming weekend. It's WeHo Pride this weekend. I now live in West Hollywood. We're hosting a bunch of people staying at the new place. There's a parade on Sunday. I'm playing pickleball on Sunday, on Friday and Saturday. There's so much pickleball to watch. I have the WeHo Pride Fest. It's going to be crazy. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to fit it all in, but I'm going to try. So follow me on Instagram, Obsessed with Pickleball, on TikTok, Obsessed with Pickleball Pod. Like this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, tell your friends about this podcast, YouTube and Spotify. I would love some more listeners. I would love to keep growing. I know I'm not a professional pickleball player, but I think I still have interesting thoughts. So I will see you guys on the next one. And I can't believe we have another insane 4 days of MLP coming up in just 2 days.